Ladies and gentlemen, for the 1009th time, I think it is.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It is the Mason and Friends Show, featuring that dude called Big Mike.
Yeah.
As well as myself, L. Mahoney. Welcome to the Mason and Friends Show.
What's happening, y'all? What's good out there today? Hey, I need to give a shout out to my boys. Y'all tried, and it didn't happen. Carolina Panthers, still with y'all, keep pounding. Our fucking defense sucked.
Well, Mike, it was a better season than you were expecting this year.
That's why I'm not mad. Yeah, I can't be mad because I only thought we were going to win 3 games. And I was happy if we won 3 games. And then we fucked around and won 8 of these motherfuckers.
And plus, didn't you guys keep Biggie's team from getting into the playoffs?
It wasn't us.
It was kind of y'all. It was kind of y'all.
Because we beat them.
You can take some credit on that.
Yeah, we beat them once. And because we beat them in the division, and we had already beaten, I think we had already beaten Atlanta, or Atlanta might have beat us, and we beat New Orleans twice. So when it came to it, Biggie's team beat us, and even if we had lost, which we did, we needed Atlanta to win for us to be in, and the Bucks needed New Orleans to win for them to get in. So both teams, our division itself sucks.
You guys barely got in because you were the team that sucked a little less than the other teams in your division.
Yeah, basically. But either way, a win's a win. We still got in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. A playoff berth is a playoff berth.
And they showed up to play. Now,
even if it's immediately aborted.
Yeah. Like in the very beginning of the game, I was like, it's already starting to look questionable. I wasn't on board. But then the second half started, I'm like, oh, this is a different team to come out. Now, if you motherfuckers was there
the whole time,
this wouldn't have been no problem. But y'all ain't show up till the second half. You know what I mean? But defense, how the fuck, Eros, do you fucking give that much space to the fucking Rams secondary? You know what I mean? When they were fucking throwing in our secondary, you giving up 15 yards a pass. It took 4 fucking passes for them motherfuckers to get downfield and score on us in a minute 45 seconds. Just 4.
Yeah.
They didn't stop shit.
Yeah, you blew
This is 4 consecutive fucking first downs.
But neither team was stopping either of them in that. What was it, 37-29 or some shit?
It was
33.
The end of the game was 31-27.
Yeah.
No. 30. No. What's 31? No.
It was close.
31-28, something like it. Because I know if we would have got down there and kicked a field goal, we would have been good. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I'm not mad at it. There's a lot of shit that they gotta improve on. We need a better fucking secondary. We need speed in our secondary because we get burned. I'm watching motherfuckers just run past these cats, and I'm like,
dude, trust me, there's no telling. Like last year, the Redskins were like a solid squad.
Exactly.
And this year they were 5-12.
This is what I'm kind of worried about our guys.
That's what I'm saying,
made it there, but then we could be fucking shit in the bed.
You guys made it there by the skin of your fucking teeth.
Very skinny.
My squad almost went to the Super Bowl last year and didn't make the playoffs this year. So what the fuck chances you got in a shit retarded division?
We made it there, but not on our own fucking valor. That's the thing that got me.
That's what I'm saying.
We made
like,
it there,
y'all, you can't even be like, oh, we got to do X, Y, and Z. Y'all need to do a lot.
Exactly.
Y'all need to get well above 500.
There's some shit that has to happen. You know what I mean? But they showed me yesterday that like they have it, but they don't have the like they need a Steve Smith. That's what the Panthers need.
You need a team offensive leader.
They need a heart. They need somebody coming there to the chest. Because Bryce is too fucking calm for me. You know what I mean? Like I get it.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
That was the young dude.
That's the quarterback.
Right?
Like he's mellow. You know what I mean? He goes with the flow kind of shit. But I'm like, bro, you gotta get some fire up in you, bro. Like I need you to come out there and be like, I'm hungry. I want this win. You're like, things happen.
He needs the heart of Rudy. Is what he needs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He ain't got that Rudy heart.
That's what I'm saying. They need a Steve Smith. Steve Smith was Carolina's fucking.
He was
heart.
A Rudy.
Yeah, he was that motherfucker. He could get punched in the motherfucking face, get up, still talk shit, and show and prove every fucking time.
Absolutely.
You get Steve Smith pissed off, it was like getting Michael Jordan pissed off.
Yeah.
You in for a fucking hell of a day.
It's a shame he didn't get pissed off more on that squad, because you guys could have gone places if he was pissed off all the time.
Well, see, the thing is, I think the egos were clashing, because Steve Smith's last year there was also Cam's first year in that motherfucker.
No, he was there with Cam for a while, wasn't he?
But I think their egos clashed, I think, and it was a lot of, because Cam,
I could totally see that out of Cam.
Cam wanted to be like, I'm the man.
Cam's LeBron.
Yeah.
Cam thinks he's LeBron.
I'm the man. I'm the captain now.
He ain't even LeBron, yeah.
But granted, he
said,
best.
Steve Smith, look at me.
Yeah.
I am the captain now.
But granted, Cam was the best quarterback we had in a long ass time down that bitch. You know what I mean?
Try ever.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, he's still a bitch, but he was still your best quarterback ever.
So I ain't taking nothing away from a man's, but I'm just like, the ego, young kid, you know what I mean? You don't want to listen to old hits, but Steve Smith been around, but Steve Smith is also that motherfucker, like, he ain't gonna take no shit from me either.
Well, but that's the thing. Cam didn't have a right to act the way he was acting.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, you know what that brings me to? Being Eddie. I watched Being Eddie.
Yeah.
I fell asleep towards the end,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna front. But, like, the hubris on Eddie. Like, he is, some of what he says is true.
Yeah.
But some of it is so over the top arrogant, and he just sort of says it goofy, and it's sort of funny, but it's at the same time like he's like, I was the number one black entertainer of all times. There was nobody before me. Like, that's basically what he's saying. Yeah. And I'm like, there's a lot of black people that came along before you, Eddie. You might have been the tip of the 80s spear of, like, going to the next level.
That's it. He was the changing of the guard.
Right. Like, I don't disagree with that, but, like, some of the way he stated some of the stuff he said, I'm like, you are an arrogant fuck, bro.
I still fucked with it.
It was good, but it really showed me a side of him that I guess I've sort of kind of expected or heard about, but never really seen. Kind of like that makes me want to watch the Diddy doc now, because like,
you never seen the Diddy doc yet?
I haven't watched the Diddy doc yet.
The one that 50 Cent did?
The one that 50 did.
Oh, bro, you gotta watch it.
I know, I gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it.
Because I didn't have Netflix until the Super Bowl or the games on Christmas Day.
Gotcha.
I got Netflix for that, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna ride this out for a couple months and watch some shit.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten to that yet.
Go ahead and check out that Diddy joint, man.
I gotta watch the Diddy joint.
Because you'll be like, man, what the fuck?
Because like, I've never liked Diddy. So it's sort of like I've liked Eddie Murphy, and I don't dislike Eddie Murphy now, but I see Eddie Murphy in a more like big-headish, arrogant than I ever have before.
Yeah.
Because of some of the things that he said in the documentary, where I'm just like, really? Like, you really think you're that special? Like, you're special, but like,
I fucks with
pump your brakes.
I think he was right on a lot of shit, because he was the it man for a while. Before he
was definitely a big deal.
Yeah, because when he was talking about, think of how Trading Places would have been if it actually went to Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder.
Oh yeah, it would have been a totally different bag.
Yo, that was written for them too. I'm actually kind of glad it actually went to Eddie and Dan Aykroyd, because I think, to me, I've seen Richard Pryor and Gene in so much shit that I love to fucking death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's a different era.
Yeah. Like, because by then Richard Pryor was older. Gene Wilder was definitely older. Like, I don't think it would have they would have played the same way. You know what I mean?
They weren't the people they were during the 4 or 5 other movies they had done together in the 70s at that point in the 80s.
But if you watch the Diddy document,
yeah, that's gonna make me really not like him. I'm sure.
No, but it's gonna you're gonna be like, yo, Mike said this shit on the show years and years ago.
I know when you were on here, when you were on here saying that stuff about it, you were breaking it down, and I was like, yo, this really, really reinforces Oprah being a freak.
Like,
all this stuff just reinforces Oprah being a problem, like you've been saying for years.
Exactly. How bad of a person could he have been to make all these people go to different religions and everything else, turn themselves in for murder and every fucking thing else? How bad of a person was Diddy? Sure. And then you watch the documentary, and you're like, oh shit, this motherfucker was like the devil.
It reinforces.
But then it makes sense why Craig Mack went to fucking that cult he was in before he died. Why fucking G-Dep turned himself in before murder.
Mace became a preacher.
Mace became a preacher. Sean became a fucking unorthodox Jew before he became fucking
like a politician.
Yeah, he did all that beforehand.
These are reformed men.
Yes, everybody that Diddy was around.
Yeah.
Found religion.
Like not just found religion.
Their soul had to be cleansed some kind of way.
Yes. They had to walk the stone fires.
G-Dep said, I need to repent for the murder that happened that nobody knew about, that I got away with. Nobody knew this shit. But I felt it in my soul that I have to turn myself in after being around Diddy and the shit that this motherfucker was doing.
I got away with murder. I hung out with Diddy for 6 months.
I can't do this
shit. Take me to jail.
I can't do this shit. I need to repent. You see what I'm saying? You gotta watch this motherfucker, because you'll be like, holy shit, he was that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, God damn it.
Oh my God. And like, I knew it too. I've always known Diddy was dirt because of what Diddy has done forever. Like, he's just stolen music. It was always some rip-off version. Whatever the Diddy song was, it was a song not that long before by somebody else.
Yeah.
Every fucking song.
Like, I think the remix really came with him.
But he wouldn't call it a remix. He would flip it and do it again.
This Bad Boy, baby.
Yes. Yes, we take old shit and remake it.
Yeah.
You know, and like, that old shit was dope, and it didn't need to be remade, and it definitely needed credit to be given. People didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't.
They didn't know.
Now, there is a part in the documentary I don't agree with, is them saying that he set up Pac to get shot at the studio that day
in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have, but like,
I don't think Diddy.
Why don't you think he did?
Because the person that wanted Pac at that studio was a whole nother dude that was like, yo, when you hear about, when you hear this part of the shit that they're talking about how Diddy had this shit set up, I read this autobiography on Pac not too long ago. It's is it All Eyes on Me? Fuck, I can't remember the goddamn book now.
Did he write it himself?
No, Diddy didn't write this book. This was a book by this guy that like followed Pac around and gathered all this information, talked to all the people that knew him, you know what I mean, really got the stories, you know what I mean, about his life and how he grew up and all this other shit, you know what I mean. And it's really a good book. Like, my sister has it right now. I bought it when it first came out, when they dropped it. Read the joint. So after reading the story of everything and remembering things that back then, and then seeing the Diddy document and fucking these motherfuckers telling the spot about how Diddy set him up at the studio, I'm like, nah, that's not how you got some of that right, but from reading the book and understanding what actually happened that night, it's basically the dude that was that wanted him at the studio pressured Pac, like, yo, you need to get here now. Like, where you at? Was like time. I'm like, you need to get here. Where you at? Come to the studio. And it says, everything says in the documentary. Pac went and stopped and got some weed. That's in the book. Pac said, man, me and my homie, we got high. We was getting high. We getting blazed in the studio. Even Pac says to this motherfucker joint in the book saying, I didn't trust the guy that wanted me at the studio, but, you know, it's money in my pocket. I didn't have bread at the time. So I'm going to the studio, get this quick $10,000.
Yeah, now he has less trust in anybody.
Exactly.
After that.
So, but he felt that the way they put it, is Pac felt that Biggie and them had shit to do with it because they're like, at the time, Puff's the man in New York. So if you're the man in New York, you should know what's happening. You should know what's going on. Somebody should be telling you what's happening. But they're like,
but that's like an unrealistic level to be at.
Exactly.
Especially in 1995.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
94, I think. 93, somewhere around in there. That
everybody doesn't have cell phones or taking pictures or texting you. It's a different level.
Exactly. It's pager and fucking cell phone, payphone era right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the story goes, Pac says he rolls up to the joint. Him and his homies are with him.
That's unrealistic expectations.
They go up in the motherfucking studio. Now, even the motherfuckers that were with Pac say, Pac saw the two dudes at the door. They weren't making eye contact. They never said a word. They was just outside smoking a cigarette. Nobody said shit to nobody walking in the building. So they go in the building. The dudes come in right behind, tells everybody, hands up, get on the ground. We stick y'all up, basically. Pac's two homies get on the ground. Pac is confrontational. He's like, now fuck y'all. Y'all ain't taking my shit. Da-da-da. And dude just shoots this motherfucker. At the same time, right before he walks in, as the story goes, and this has all been repeated and said and proven, Lil C sees Pac, tells Biggie's like, yo, tell him come on up to the studio, you know what I mean? So Pac's like, man, I'm gonna go catch up with my homie. And fucking when he gets shot, Lil C's as Pac's about to get shot, Lil C's in the elevator on his way down. Elevator opens up, the dudes are like, nah, get your ass back in the elevator, I'm gonna shoot you. C says this story over and over the same fucking way. It says it in the book that his homies said, yo, that's what happened. They turned to Lil C and said, yo, we gonna shoot your ass, get back in the elevator. In the elevator he goes. Like, fuck.
I mean, yeah.
And Lil C's at the time, he's a kid. This motherfucker, and people don't remember this shit, but Lil C's is like
that's what the
15.
Littles, that's why they're all little.
Yeah, he's like 15, 16 years old at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gonna get shot if you get the fuck out of here. And then he said, when he's in the elevator, he hears him shoot Pac. So the elevator opens up. He's right there. Biggie and them come down and fucking he sees the shit, but the way they show it in the documentary is you got Diddy talking to a cop as he's walking off the scene with a cop, and I'm like, okay, I can see how that would look like. You probably set some shit up if you see that part right there in the documentary, you know what I mean? But like then it says the shit about Biggie.
Well, if they were there, then that drives a whole lot more credibility towards they might have known something. Like if you're saying Biggie and Pac and C's were upstairs at the studio.
Well, Biggie and Lil C's at Bad Boys upstairs. You know what I mean? They're recording a song. Pac was on his way to another studio in that same building.
Right,
yeah.
right. I get that. So like that lends a lot more credibility to maybe y'all should have known something.
That if somebody was going to pop off. Yeah. Because
the expectation of you being aware of that in 1993 is much greater than I was giving it credit for prior to knowing that they were in the building.
Yeah, everybody was in the building when all this shit happened.
Because I remember that shooting and how they associated it, but I never dug into how it was technically they thought that. Why they would have thought that. And that sounds actually much more reasonable.
But I was like, man, again, it goes back to how evil do you think this man really was? But then when you see that shit and you're like, oh man, Diddy was an evil motherfucker.
Fuck, yo,
especially all the shit that happened with the Rucker gang, or not? It wasn't a Rucker gang. It was some party he had, and all these people died.
Yeah, everybody got trampled.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what it was. They had a bunch of locked
doors or something like that.
It was wild, and they're like, they said ever since that day.
But that's when the name starts changing.
Yeah, because
it's a rebrand.
Yeah, because he didn't want to get sued or his shit taken away.
Right.
That's how they put it. I'm like, God damn, you knew early on.
He would make an LLC fuck up and then make a new LLC.
Yeah. You knew early on that in order to not have to pay or be liable for shit, you have to change shit around. That also tells you how fucked up you gotta be as a human being.
You're in a devious position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you knew this
with devious intent.
You knew this at 19. 20 years old, 18 years old.
That's gangster.
You know what I mean?
100,000 on the watch.
You fucking all these people over. All these people got to find religion because of you.
For years.
And look, I still want to know.
They all got to find religion. They all need to see the light. Like the Blues Brothers with James Brown.
Yeah, they really do. What I want to know is,
have you seen a light? That's what I want to know.
I need to know what Bentley knows, because when Diddy dies, I guarantee you Bentley, Farnsworth Bentley has a book that he's been working on. He's got to, because he's the one that was inside before there was the Cassie and all that shit. He was a motherfucker tying this motherfucker shoes and shit and walking around with an umbrella over this motherfucker's head.
But what kind of guy are you if you want someone to tie your shoes for you? Like, if I really wanted someone to tie my shoes for me, dog, I'm getting Velcro. And shit, I got...
You said you getting Velcro.
I got a lot of shoes that don't even need to be tied, quite frankly.
Oh, man.
That's how Adidas makes a lot of shoes these days, and I rock a lot of Adidas.
But I'm like, because they used to say that. They said he would have to
tie his shoes.
Tie Diddy's shoes up. What else was it? It was something else. Like he had he was basically Diddy's manslave.
Yeah, no, it sounds awful.
So I'm like, all right, and then everybody's talking. They tell you that they got the NDAs. They got the NDAs that they all had to sign. And I'm like, we know what happened to the men and some of these guys, but we don't know what happened to, like Total. We don't know what happened to the group Total. You know what I mean? Mary J was around for some shit.
There was a lot of people.
Faith ain't said shit about nothing.
A lot of people went through that system that still haven't said anything.
Exactly. Danny Kane, they're real vocal about some shit now.
What secrets are not told?
Exactly.
There's bound to be something.
Because, man, Biggie, I guarantee you, Biggie has some shit.
Oh, Lord. That's why he got killed. Biggie knew something.
Biggie knew some shit, but even that bring that up in the documentary. Like, yo, Biggie didn't want to go to California, but then the Locks, you hear Jadakiss tell the story. It's different.
Hey, I'll tell you what happened. Biggie's a big dude, right? Diddy tried to oil him up. And Biggie went.
It could have been some shit like that.
And Diddy was like, you know what? Psh, I'm taking you out.
You don't want your ass, black ass, oiled up.
You bad boy. You won't be bad boy
baby
for life.
oil. I got something for your big ass.
And then I'm gonna make a tribute song about it afterwards.
And it's
gonna make me bigger than anything. I'm gonna just have to pay Prince or
Sting.
Sting.
What you just said, you gotta watch documentary, because you just said some shit. They say that in that motherfucker. They're like, yo, how this motherfucker gonna be your man's? And you come out on
he just come out
Diddy
bigger.
Bopping on stage.
He comes out bigger afterwards.
Yep.
Like he made such a it's
because they were like he wanted to be a
It's like the exploitation thing. That's why I don't like to put up death notices or statements about what's going on in the world on the Mason and Friends show shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to associate us too hardly into one side or another. You know what I mean? We got our opinions. Some of us.
Yeah.
Like the Jew wouldn't know what to say about most things that are going on in the world.
Not at all.
But you and I could have a completely different show if all we did was talk about politics.
Yeah. Oh, here. All right. Here's the book. All right. If y'all want to know the book, it's Only God Can Judge Me. That's the Tupac book.
And that was a Tupac line, right? Only God can judge me.
Only God can judge me now. And a lot of the shit, man, when you read this motherfucking book, it's like, yo, a lot of the shit starts making sense when you hear, because the book associates the shit that happened in his life according to the songs he wrote. Because they're like, yo, the motherfucker was so good at poetry and shit and acting and shit, which brings to the point that I said about Pac. I was like, Pac was never a thug. Pac was only acting that part.
He was an actor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He was a great fucking actor. I think if Pac was still around, he would have some hella good roles.
Will Smith wouldn't have had half the roles he had.
Fuck no.
If Pac was around.
No, not at all.
Will Smith wouldn't have had a chance to slap nobody.
I believe Pac was the better actor.
Pac would have been 12 years a slave. Pac would have done all kinds of stuff.
I think Pac could have done. Pac probably would have been Neo.
Could have been. I think he was considered for that.
You know what I mean? Pac could have been Neo or some shit.
But that's the thing. Pac was I never really liked his music, but he was a great actor. There's movies. I'll watch him in a movie anytime.
Yeah.
There's not any movie I could think of that he was in that I'm like, not worth watching.
Because
that's just garbage outright.
Because that's what they were talking about.
Like you can say for Eddie. Right? You can say a lot of Eddie movies are bad, but you can't be like, yo, that Pac movie there is particularly horrible.
Yeah, because all right, Eddie's movies got bad for me once he started doing the kid shit, and what's that joint? Like he was talking about Bowfinger, and I'm like, Bowfinger wasn't good to me. I didn't like Bowfinger. You know what I mean? That was one of the dumbest movies I ever seen in my life that I wasted time on.
All of those Nutty Professor movies.
I like the Nutty Professor. I like the first one.
It's like you were saying though, like kid movies.
Yeah.
Like I'm not fucking with
the family friendly joints, you know what I mean?
And it's not even necessarily I don't fuck with family friendly, but like it's got to be done a certain way.
Yeah, like Coming to America, you can't sleep on Coming to America.
And that you can watch as a family.
Yeah.
Any family can.
Yep.
Like that movie doesn't have a whole lot of inappropriateness. There's a couple of lines here or there that you hope would slide and nobody would notice if they might be too young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like it's not like what was the one with Grace Jones?
Boomerang. Yeah.
No man can turn down this pussy.
This pussy? You afraid of pussy? You not gay.
Pussy.
You're not gay. I know gay. He's gay, but you not gay. But yeah, man, look, fucking 2026.
Shout out to Grace Jones, the sexy, beautiful Grace Jones.
You can say what you want.
The big Mike is scared of.
Fucking
Grace Jones to keep Mike scared.
But 2026 so far for everybody that's been around us, it's going good for those around us. So hey, keep that momentum going, ladies and gentlemen out there.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a nice big announcement that comes up soon.
You know,
but we'll see. We'll see how things go.
We're not gonna spoil nothing for y'all.
Yeah, we can't guarantee anything till it's actually
said and done
and has happened.
So. But we shall see. Fucking what was it? I started watching that shit you sent me, the Tom Segura.
Bad Thoughts?
Yeah. The first, some of them are hit and miss with me. You know what I mean? Like when he did the joint with he had the kids, the talent show, and he's like, all right, your son's coming up, but he's been around grandpa and they're paying tribute to grandpa, and he's like, you motherfucking commies, da da da. I'm like, and they're like, oh, we gotta go. Yeah, we're gonna have to transfer schools. He can't go to school here no more. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and leave. Let's get up and leave. And then the next kid comes up and he's talking about cocaine in Miami, and he's got the Tony Montana shit on. They're like, you know what? Our kid's not that bad. Like, he's talking about illegal shit. Our kid's just racist. You know what I mean? I'm like, God damn. That's how y'all gonna judge? That's how you gonna make out what happened? When that motherfucker shot that lady off the bat. It's like he was the spy or whatever, or assassin. I only got 2 rules. I don't kill kids and women. And fuck around, shot the bitch in the head. And I'm like, damn. See where this is going?
Yeah, that Tom Segura is a crazy man.
Like, but some of them were just like kind of dull, you know what I mean? Like, it's the to be continued shit. I'm still just trying to follow all the to be continueds right now, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I gotta see how they're gonna wrap it up, you know what I mean? But how many of it is it? Because it said, I think it's like 2 deep thoughts, isn't it?
I'm not even sure how many there are in that.
I think it is, because I started the first one before I came here, and I'm on like episode 5 now. It's like 6 episodes in that one.
Oh yeah, you cranking it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that many.
Okay. Yeah, I was flying through it because I'm like, fuck, man, I ain't got to be at work until later on in the morning. So I get up, I work out, read my book, and then get myself together for work.
Put something on.
Yeah. But I've been trying, man, to stick to some kind of regimen. I got my motherfucking kettlebell, what is it? The Total Gym kettlebell, like
you can change the weight on it.
Yeah, like I got the dumbbells, you know what I mean. So I went ahead and got the kettlebell too, and man, that motherfucker's been doing the damn thing. It's been kicking my ass, but I fucking like it. Like,
yeah, I like kettlebells.
I'm like, shit, man, I can do this whole kettlebell. I can do a whole body workout in like 30 minutes with this bitch. You know what I mean? Yeah. And really feel the fucking difference. Like, all right. Excuse me. And then with this new job, fucking dragging his hose in neighborhoods and shit, man, fuck. Hell yeah. I'm getting it in. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. Make something happen. I'm trying to keep the little changes consistent. As long as I can keep them consistent, I think it'll be all right. But it's like, all right, we just got to keep everything moving,
Yeah.
So, and then finances are finally coming into play. I found a couple things that around the ethos that I got together now and put them in some kind of order. So I'm like, all right, here's my shit. I see everything. Now let's put it all together and make it work some kind of way. So me and the wife are going to talk to a financial advisor about, some moves to make,
That's what's up.
And try to make some things happen, move some stuff here, move some stuff there. And, just try to better our 2026 as best we can make it happen. You know?
Yeah.
Because the world's a fucking shit show. You know, since I fucking quit the one job and got this other one, in between those, I haven't cut on the news, so I have no idea what's been going on.
Don't watch, bro.
I cut the
You
news
want a breakdown? It's ridiculous.
I cut the news on the other day, and I'm watching. I'm like, what the fuck have we done now? You know what I mean? And I'm like, holy shit, there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on.
Yeah, ice has been popping, folks.
It's fucking ice. You know what I mean? Like to me, people gonna get mad when I say it, but it reminds me of the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. It's ignorance on ignorance.
Yeah, people don't want to know what's really happening. They want to have their opinion and scream about it.
Wasn't there, that situation wouldn't have happened, right?
Right.
If the women, the wife wasn't already instigating some shit,
yeah,
would it have happened?
Well, they were following them around all day doing that.
You put two
like you know as well as I do that if I'm behind the wheel and there's a bunch of cops around my car and I put it in gear and start going, I might just get shot.
But the thing
is this is anybody.
You put two ignorant scenarios together, you get an ignorant outcome.
You double your chances of having.
It's just like the Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
You had an ignorant little kid go up here doing some ignorant shit while other people were being ignorant, and guess what? They met at a point. And when ignorant meets ignorant, ignorance happens. It's not two wrongs make a right situation. You got some ignorance happening to another ignorant thing happening. The ignorant outcome is going to happen.
Right.
That's math. That's 1 + 1 is always going to equal that scenario. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, man?
It's hard to argue against there's ignorant on top of ignorant there.
Yeah.
And it's like, but if you keep looking, the ignorance like just continues to compound in both directions, further and further and bigger and bigger.
It's a shame that motherfuckers can't just sit down and be like, look, the way this motherfucker's doing shit, yes, is wrong. Completely wrong. And the way that you probably go about this shit, you can be vocal about everything under the sun.
No matter how right you think you are, once you step into the situation that a lot of these folks are stepping into, all bets are off.
Once you put yourself in that situation to where now you should be mindful of what's around you at this point. Because things can go south very fucking quickly, regardless of where the fuck you at.
Yeah.
You know, especially in a group of individuals who are already on edge with shit because that's what the fuck they got put into. Number one,
some been running around agitating them all day.
Some have been put in that situation. Some want to be in that situation. Like, I'm ready to blast some motherfuckers if I get a chance. There's a lot of shit because you got those that don't even want to deal with the shit. Well, you got those that are just, hey, gun ho and ready for that shit. I've seen both sides of it. So nobody's right in any situation.
Fair amount of them in between too that are just like, I'm just trying to do my job.
And that's the other part.
It's like if someone came and screamed at you trying to drag your hose through the backyard and fill up somebody's propane tank or whatever the fuck it is.
And I'm hey, look,
you know what I got a job to do.
And this is my job.
Squirting, making noise at you.
But now if you're doing other shit,
getting in your way,
there's a chance that could
you might just fuck somebody up.
That's what I'm saying. It could turn the other way.
Right. You're like, excuse me, ma'am. I'm just trying to do my job. I
just got to get right here. Let me just do this right here.
Some bitch grabs an axe, hits your fucking pipe.
You know what I mean?
Then you got the motherfucking gas in the air. Some other dumbass is smoking a cigarette, and then.
Yeah.
It's all over, man.
It just takes 3 to 30 seconds to think about.
You sitting there blinking like fucking Wile E. Coyote and all charred up and everything.
Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's like, okay,
there's a dead white lady with an axe in her hand.
You could follow
a burned up cigarette in her lip.
Yeah, you can follow these motherfuckers around. You can record them doing everything. You can do that. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you're allowed to do.
But if you intentionally do something to irritate a motherfucker and that motherfucker turns around and does some shit that irritates you because you already irritated this situation, so now you're just poking that shit.
It's chicken and egg shit. It's like okay, we got chickens and we got eggs. It doesn't matter what came first.
Yeah.
We got to figure out a way to make some omelets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be worrying about all this minutia bullshit that everybody's freaking out about.
And then you still got motherfuckers, I guess they're still fussing about the Epstein shit, because I ain't heard nothing about that, which at this point in time...
they put out a bunch of stuff, but
it's all redacted.
Which,
what do you think was going to be?
But that was against the rule of the law that was passed.
Oh, see, I don't know.
So you're not allowed...
I ain't know what the fuck's been going on, because like I said, I've been out of the loop for a while.
That's a big part of why it's still a deal, is because, like, Thomas Massey's bill that got passed and was signed by Trump specifically states you're not allowed to redact a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of specifications about you're not allowed to redact things just to protect some person. You can't do this.
Okay, now it makes sense, because I'm like...
Then there was also a bunch were put out with PDFs on them. There were PDFs that were put out, but they had blacked out lines that you could go into like a PDF file controller and delete the lines off of and unredact it. Like, so there was just a whole lot of fucking up going on.
God damn.
And like, there's just, you know... There's a whole lot of rules being broken and subverted, and, you know, there's a lot of information that should be put out, and there's a bunch of people acting like, oh, it shouldn't be put out. Like, no, there's a lot of things that need to be put out. That's what the law is. So it definitely needs to be continued to be followed, but we'll see if it ever actually gets properly released.
And see, that's the other part to this, I guess, is like, did you actually believe that this motherfucker was going to do anything right? That's my thing, dude.
I'd never believe any presidential candidate is going to follow through on the things that I like that they're campaigning on, but I hope.
Yeah, I guarantee everybody hopes.
Like, because like Bobby Kennedy's been doing some things.
Yeah.
And that stuff I appreciate. And that would never have happened under the other administration.
That's also true.
We've never been allowed to get to this point.
But it's like you got one thing that's shining a whole pile of shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because I'm like...
But the thing is, my biggest gripe is always foreign policy. And I don't agree with any foreign policy of any of these motherfuckers.
Oh, bro, the whole shit with the Venezuela shit. And I'm like, oh, he just went down there and got the oil.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
but then
now he's
like,
meeting with Exxon
but he's like,
and Chevron and all them.
The only refreshing thing about it is that he's like, we want the oil. We're not concerned about democracy or any of these things.
We didn't give a fuck about the drugs. We said, oh, there's drugs and I'm blowing up 4 fishing boats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're here for the drugs. We're here. Until we're here. Now we're here for the oil.
Now we're here for the oil.
What drugs you speak of?
Yeah, I don't know anything about
any
drugs. But I
drugs.
got my homies over here with Chevron, Exxon, BP, and Valdez. You know, we're going to try to figure out how we're going to divvy up this oil that we just got.
We've resurrected the Exxon Valdez and we're bringing it back.
You know what I mean? I'm like...
We're making the Exxon Valdez great again.
All these motherfuckers that you got the cat... Now, you got other cats, you know, that are like, oh, he did a great thing for Venezuela. Again, I'm not from Venezuela. Like, I don't know the whole thing.
I got a friend that's from Venezuela, and I really want to go talk to him.
But I got a homie.
Make a show out of it.
And be like, yo, man, explain to me what happened in Venezuela with the current...
what's your opinion? Because, like, the fact that the Hispanic chick on The View is, like, defending it, that's crazy to me. Because that bitch hates everything Trump does. And she's like, a lot of the Cuban and Venezuelan people here in America did vote for this, so, you know.
But here's the other part to it is like, okay, who does America want in return for that spot there? Because if we did this shit, you know, we only want somebody that's going to look out for our interests.
Absolutely.
And what we want to fucking have.
We want the oil because we don't want to let...
We want the oil
we don't want to let China or Russia
we're not letting them get a hold of shit. Because that's how we going to roll. This is what we're fucking doing. We're going to take this shit. Instead of just saying we're just going to take this shit, we got to say some bullshit for these motherfuckers to pretend to believe that, oh, we did this for diplomatic fucking... Bitch, you know, we still got shit out here. That there was a meme, I think I might have even put it on my story, that this lady was like, you know, it's funny how what she say, that we can hurry up and come up and topple a government, but we can't fix that pothole that's been fucking our cars up for all these goddamn years.
Yeah.
That's perfect fucking sense right there. Like, yeah, how come our infrastructure is still fucked? How come our shit is still fucked, but yeah, we going over here and doing all this bullshit? You know what I mean? Now you want to send motherfuckers to Iran. You got motherfuckers in Africa. You got motherfuckers over here. You still doing the bullshit sucking fucking Putin's dick, you know what I mean, and fucking Netanyahu's fucking you up the ass.
It's definitely
you
not.
Know what I mean?
It's definitely not Putin that he's like kissing the ass of. He's kissing the Ukraine's ass by giving them more money to continue to fight Russia, which is a war that we fomented as a nation. So like that whole situation is completely retarded, and it's only being done against Russia, which doesn't make, like, we should be trying to be friends with people and not
all
try
this
to be
shit is fucking retarded to me, because I'm like,
enemies with them.
We're doing more shit to fuck shit up than you are to correct some shit here. Like,
yes.
Now,
therein lies my greatest issue with the world, the international policy, or whatever you call it, like the non-American international policy, whatever.
Yeah.
And all those policies are never changing substantially, no matter who's in charge.
Yeah.
It's just a continuation of that shit. Like all the stuff that we like, the people that voted for Trump not wanting more wars, been a lot of war stuff happening. And he's like, doesn't have to run again, so who gives a fuck?
But
right?
I'm like, exactly. That was the whole thing. That's why part of me was like, all right, when Obama was in office, his second term, like, bro, do whatever the fuck you need to do, because
that's the time to man up.
This is when you can go ahead and fucking flex on these hoes.
That's when any number of these guys should have legalized weed.
Exactly. Boom. Here it is. But no, legal. You fucking pussyfoot around some bullshit, because everybody's controlled by somebody, even this orange motherfucker.
Yep.
Because me and the wifey were talking, and she was like, I don't really believe he's a full-on racist. You know what I mean? I looked at it, I was like, I defer, but it's cool. But where we going with it? She goes, he's more of a classist. Like, if you're not on his level, and if he looks at you and you're not on his level when it comes to class and status in society, money-wise, if you have more money than him, he respects you. But if you have less than him, he'll give a fuck about you. I'm like, you know what? You're actually right with that statement right there.
I mean, in a sense, but like,
I believe
at the same time, like, acting as the president, you're making decisions for everybody always. So like, you can only be but so much of a classist in your life if you're governing the government. Like, you can't just be like, we got somebody, fuck everybody from here down.
We got somebody in office that I do believe is he's a man child. He's a fucking child that's never been whipped, punched in the mouth, none of that shit, acting like a grown-up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that seems to be a presidential thing to me.
With him,
like,
it's
none of them have come in and maintained any sort of respect. Like, not a single president
with him
in my lifetime.
It's like I'm looking at a kid. It's like I'm looking at how our buddy the Jew takes the shit in the world. You know what I mean? Like, his mindset, the shit you see this motherfucker do, it's like I'm watching a fucking adolescent, do the shit in front of the world. Like, how are you this supposed to be president, but you act like a fucking child? Like, my kids have more what's the word I'm looking for here?
Maturity.
Yes.
But I understand what you're saying about him specifically, but I feel like he wears it on his sleeve, whereas the rest try to act like, I'm not doing this because of that. But that's what all of American politics is based on. It's a childish us versus them.
Yeah, it's always been us versus them.
It's always been that. But like, he exacerbates it somehow in a way that nobody else fucking
does. It's like every time he opens his mouth, it's a headache. That's why I've been so peaceful not watching TV. Like, I'll go on, I'll watch something on stream and shit when I come on the news, and I'm like, what the fuck have we been doing out here? Like, this is where we're at. Fuck, all right, 2026, here we go again.
Yeah. It's gonna be a wild season.
It's gonna be a long fucking we got 3 years left, because fucking then 2 more weeks it'll be as full year in that bitch.
Yeah.
So it's like, god damn.
Yeah.
We got 3 more seasons with this orange motherfucker. Fuck. Him and Mascara looking like a swole Boy George. Yeah, I mean, like, if Boy George had a beard,
a plump orange Boy George.
No, you got the plump orange. You got the plump orange, and then you got the plump Boy George. JD.
JD.
Yeah.
JD
with
does look like,
he looks like Boy George.
Yeah. All the memes they made of him are fun. The face memes.
Yeah.
That fucking dude. Like, we wouldn't have that either.
You know, there is comedy, but it's like, fuck, this is the country I live in. Like, shit, man.
Yeah,
God damn.
Yeah, everybody's
You
right
know?
and nobody's ever wrong.
If I could, if I could take me, the wifey, and fucking my kids and just fucking roll out and go someplace, I definitely fucking would do it.
Like, but where? That's the problem. Where are you going to get away from this human thing?
That's it, because it really is a human thing.
It's a human thing.
I want to go somewhere where my money from here can stretch and I can live comfortable and good. Like listen to the motherfucker down there in fucking St. Lucia, how he got 3 houses and he's living great. But then I'm like,
yeah, but he's probably got some serious income coming in.
Oh yeah, he does.
You know what I mean?
And then there was one cat I knew ended up when he lived out in Dubai. But I'm like, the laws out in Dubai I can't fuck with. You know what I mean? That's a little different there. You know what I mean? Those laws I can't fucking deal with. You know, so it's when I have not been in America, I can really enjoy some shit. You know what I mean? Because you come back and it's like, fuck, here we go.
But also, when we leave, we're always going to somewhere that's fairly catered to us.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, when I was riding around in Mexico and dune buggying through the middle of nowhere, like, you see people live out here.
Oh, yeah.
And like, how?
That's
the real question a lot of the times.
When I went to Mexico, I saw that too. When we were leaving the airport to go to the resort, we're actually driving through Mexico itself. And you see this shit, I'm like, and I understand why they come over there. I understand why they come over. It makes sense to see them coming over.
I get why everybody wants to be here.
You know what I mean?
I don't begrudge them that.
Yeah.
You know.
I get all that.
It's just we just ain't got the room to let everybody come all the time, always. Like, that's not a good. It's like, I can't just show up at your house and be like, yo, I'm staying here.
And I get that too.
You know what I mean?
I understand the whole points of it.
There needs to be a happy medium between those things.
Yeah.
But like,
nobody wants to have it because it's either gonna be you wanted this or you wanted this. That people don't know how to understand the compromise in the middle.
Right.
It's like, all right, we can give y'all a little bit, can't give you a lot.
But also the things that we do here affect things elsewhere. Like, everywhere south of America has like drug issues, and all those issues are because they're supplying us with drugs.
Yeah, because we can't grow the shit like they can grow the shit.
Right. Well, what we've done is we've exported our Al Capones.
Yeah,
so that we can't feel bad about it ourselves.
But on top of that,
it's a thing that's been done.
The world has fueled that because the world banks have been built off of all of that. All the fucked up shit that has happened has made the world banks, and the world banks have to cater to this shit because without them,
well, and they're just making up money out of nothing.
Exactly. You know, like I tell people all the time, read The Creature from Jekyll Island. Yeah, check that shit out. It'll change your whole mindset on some shit.
Well, what's really a trip is when you think about the way that the people on the Titanic were against it, and J.P. Morgan was for it and owned the Titanic, and then he canceled his trip. And
the only one out of all the people, the only one to cancel.
And everybody else was anti the Fed.
Yep.
And all that World Bank bullshit.
JFK was fucking
tried to flip the monetary system, and he got killed.
Yep.
You know. So same thing that apparently Lincoln was doing something similar.
Yeah.
Yep. Once you play with that money, they take you out.
All the time. Or if you try to fucking create unity in some kind of way.
Which they did to Gaddafi.
They did.
Gaddafi was trying to have a gold-based coin for all Africa.
When fucking Malcolm and Martin started talking, it was like, oh, wait a minute. No, we can't have both of them talking to each other.
Well, and they were talking to each other, and they were like, not like any sort of against anyone specific.
Nope.
They need us to be against someone specific. They need you to not like me because I'm white and me to not like you because you're black. That's not how things work amongst real people.
Yeah.
But like, that's how the system tries to perpetuate.
Wants to keep now I think that you can see how the system has moved away from. They tried to racist shit and it still doesn't work.
It doesn't work very well.
It lasts for a little bit, but then it fades away. You know what I mean? And then it's been really the political shit has been the main point of shit nowadays.
It's been mind virused.
Yeah.
It's turned into a mind virus.
Yeah.
Like, your brain's either open or it's not, and you can be really closed-minded whether you're right or left wing.
Yeah. Both sides can be closed-minded.
Yeah,
but it really doesn't matter. It's the people themselves. If you can't see that you being played, and even those that know that you're being played, you still playing the game like a fucking idiot.
Well, because you're trying to win your own little game.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to rock the boat.
You know?
That's what the issue is. That people are like, yeah, I see what you're talking about, but I'm going to ignore it because I'm trying to get, like, my mortgage paid off.
Views. Motherfuckers want views and likes and shit like that, too. It's like, God damn it, man. But at the same time, I still have some hope for humanity. I have hope for the species. I really do. I have hope for us. That somewhere around the line, this shit'll turn around at some point. Maybe it might not be while I'm alive, but, you know, at some point, something might happen one day where motherfuckers be like, you know what? This shit's just fucking stupid. What the fuck we doing? What are we doing? Well, like, really, what are we doing?
Over analyzing and over labeling things?
When all we're trying to do is just have a decent life and a comfortable life. Like, you know, the whole, because me and my wife were talking about this shit because, you know, where I'm be at now, I'm getting overtime and shit like that. And she's like, you've been anti-overtime for a long time. I'm like, yeah. Because if a company can pay you the overtime, they can pay you that in your actual wage and you can do the work and be done with it. You know what I mean? I think overtime has always been a joke to me because I'm like, that's a company's way of saying, look, you work harder for us, we'll pay you this, but you got to stay here even longer. That means you have to spend your time.
We'd rather not pay someone well like we pay you, so that all of you guys don't have to stay a little extra.
Yeah.
We'd rather pay a little extra to you on occasion when we need you to be here extra, instead of overstaffing, but not even really overstaffing, just
having adequately staffing.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
they look at adequate staffing as overstaffing.
Yeah.
We don't want to cut the pie up too much.
Yeah, which I'm like,
see, but here's the thing. Like, you think about the pie analogy, right? And nobody ever really goes too far with it, right? But if it's, say it's a fresh blueberry pie, right?
Yeah.
And per year, it represents, say, $10 million.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pay you $100,000 a year out of that $10 million. Fortunately, my $10 million, my $9.999 million,
yeah,
like, that doesn't go bad like a blueberry pie does.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I think of it like, in a sense, though, it is kind of like that, because, like, how much of $10 million can I spend? Say you're my only employee.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if Levi's comes along and says, Mason, I'm going to give you $10 million a year to run the podcast. And I said to you, I'm going to give you $100,000 a year to work on the podcast.
Yeah.
You don't know that I've got $10 million. Right? But, like, because as far as you know, we're sponsored by Levi's. That could be for $450,000 or $10 million.
Yeah.
We don't know if I'm the only one that knows.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's sort of what's going on in a company.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, like, I'm getting paid when I'm getting paid at my job, and you're getting paid when you're getting paid at your job.
Yeah.
But we don't know what they're really bringing in. We don't know what our super boss, our top boss is making.
Yeah.
Right? But the government does. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean that I necessarily think that should be regulated by the government. But I've said for a long time that I think that the percentage should only be so much allowed.
Yeah, because and, like, it's a big ass gap right there. I'm getting
$10 million a year from Levi's to do a podcast, and I'm paying you $100,000 a year to do a podcast. That's good money.
Yeah,
$100,000 a year.
Yeah,
but it's not fair. You know, and that doesn't mean I should have to give you $5 million necessarily.
Yeah,
but there should be a threshold that's allowed, where if I'm getting $10 million, I shouldn't necessarily be allowed to pay you any less than $320,000.
Yeah,
$1,000.
And see, that
or something. You know, like, the ratio should be shrunk.
Yeah,
and that's all I'm ever saying, is that they're like, if you as a company are making 650,000 times more money than your lowest paid employees are making, you should probably have to pay a penalty or fix your wages.
Yeah.
Like if Walmart has employees that are getting food stamps who are then spending them food stamps at Walmart.
At Walmart and still working overtime at Walmart.
Walmart should be paying a penalty.
Yeah.
Or fixing their
the same thing with Amazon, how Amazon is.
Right.
You know, you got all these people busting their ass for Amazon delivering packages and all this shit, but you ain't paying them shit.
Right.
Like
and everybody knows that big bucks coming in.
Exactly. Everybody knows that there's a fuck ton of money going here. You know what I mean? Because you're able to open up Amazon Fresh Markets.
Right.
And Amazon this and Amazon that. So yeah, but it's the greed has become even greedier.
Right, and all I want is a cap on the greed.
Yeah.
How greedy can I be?
Like
I shouldn't be allowed to be, but only
there's a limit to this because you have to. Once you hit this cap, now this money has to be divvied here. You got yours, so go ahead and throw the rest of this here. You know what I mean? Because why not? Because what are you doing with it? Because when you dead and gone, where's it going?
Right.
Your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' and even them little motherfuckers after them.
Yep.
They're all already set.
And they're going to still be taken care of.
And they're still going to be good.
As long as we're not limiting how much you can make in your lifetime.
Exactly.
As long as we're not limiting all these other things that I don't see any reason to limit.
Level.
All I say is that, like, if I'm the owner of this business and Levi's gives me $10 million, it should be against the law for me to only give you but so much if I'm going to hire you as an employee to work for this company that's making $10 million.
Because then what happens when you get to that level, then you start doing Diddy shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Then you out there just baby oiling and fucking dicking in the ass, all kinds of shit, and putting fucking shit in people's stuff, and having these mysterious islands and all kinds of other shit, and flying in fucking little kids and animals because you're a nasty motherfucker and some more shit, deviant ass bitches, because you don't know what to fucking do with all that goddamn money.
Exactly. And if more people were getting paid better, then
you probably would have those.
We'd have a better system. We wouldn't have as many people that were vulnerable to being taken advantage of for small amounts of money by rich people.
Yeah.
Because when you find a 16-year-old runaway and you're like, you get 20 grand to come do some things, then you trap them on an island like Epstein.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these are problems.
Yep, sure enough is.
And as long as like the society's making enough money that the 16-year-olds and the 12-year-olds are being taken care of by their parents who can afford to take care of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a crazy person.
You know? The old ways how you used to have the mom and dad would work, be the only income in the house, be able to get a house, have at least 2 little motherfucking kids in a car, maybe a TV, but you at least had a radio, you know what I'm saying?
You were buying a $2,000 car and a $30,000 house, and like you were doing good for yourself.
And you're doing straight. Boom. Now you gotta have 3 or 4 goddamn incomes.
You gotta have your wife working a job at the Walmart and doing OnlyFans.
You're running fucking ragged out this bitch, no time for shit. Then you got all the shit with your kids, and you spread everywhere. You got to go fucking to practices.
You're brain dead all the time.
Fucking traveling, fucking for the meets and shit. Like you got to go here to here to here to here to fuck
right.
For
Food
the games.
Line's got the better price on this, so I got to go there for that.
It's like
I can't do that.
It's too much.
I ain't doing that.
It's too much.
Nope. Well, anyway, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's probably a good time to wrap up this silliness. We'd like to thank you for listening, encourage you to listen to old episodes.
Like, share, subscribe, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Keep grinding on the things that you're trying to get done, because that's how things get done.
We believe in you.
That's right. Don't forget, we love you very much.
We love y'all.
We wish you nothing but the best.
All day, every day.
And peace be with you.
Gone.